What up, yo? How y'all doing this morning? We got one thing. Bow. Got the banner up. All right, let's get to it. Welcome to Morning Motivation, your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm thrilled to have you join me this morning as we kickstart our day with positivity and purpose. So whether you're here to seek motivation, connect with like-minded individuals, or simply get your day started on the right foot, you've come to the right place. And as you're coming in the door, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Promise I won't bite. We are a warm, inviting community of like-minded individuals. And speaking of like-minded, if you into that coffee thing and you want to support your boy, the link's pinned to the top of the chat, also on screen. And guess what, y'all? It's hump day. Yep, that's right. It's hump day.
How you doing, Brother Craig? How you doing?
How you doing, Brother Craig? How you doing? All right, y'all. We have been talking about this DISC personality assessment styles. And we have covered two of those styles so far. The dominant style, which we started last Friday, and on Monday we covered the influential style. This morning we're getting into that S. The S, which is the steadiness or steadfastness, stable, what I like to call the ultimate team player. Because I think the S is the glue to many relationships, organizations, teams. There's not really one superstar because you need all four in any relationship, any office. If you a Fortune 1000 company, you need your CEO just as much as you need your salespeople. You need your systems people just as much as you need your CFO. It's like trying to pick one part of the body that you don't need. Do you need your big toe? Do you need your pinkies, your thumbs? Do you need your eyes, your ears? I mean, which part of the body are you willing to sacrifice? And that's what I think about the DISC assessment. The DISC assessment for me is probably one of the best relational personality assessments because it gives you your strengths, your blind spots, and tells you all the others as well. And knowing that we are all a mix of them, once you understand that and you understand your mix, it helps you to move through life a little easier without as much trepidation. So this morning, we're going to get into the S, which I said is steadiness. So just out of curiosity, have anybody out there listening ever met a person that you just love to have around? They bring calm energy. They just chill. They ain't making no waves. They just a joy to be around. Those are the people for me that I call the glue, because they're the ones who keep the ship going. They're the ultimate team players. They're the ultimate team players. And I'm not saying it out of bias. I'm saying it largely because I've just found it to be true. I've go in some offices and you have your superstars, you have your social butterflies. They're just all over the place. They're going from cubicle to cubicle, chatting it up. But then you have that person that's over in that corner getting the job done, still being friendly, but over there making sure everybody has this, everybody has that. In a lot of families, the person that embodies that S is mom. Mom is the one that you can always go back to when you're having a rough day, if you need a meal, if you need your back rubbed and somebody to tell you it's going to be okay. They're not the most boisterous. They're not the loudest. They're the most stable. They're the most steady. And in some senses, the most dependable. And I told y'all, my dominant personality style is S. That's why I had to say I'm not being biased here. But just the facts lay it out, right? And then you combine my S with my I, both of them are very high. Which is why I'm able to stick my head out from behind my cubicle, go be a social butterfly, but then check in on everybody. This person has a lot of empathy. This person is also kind of self-sacrificing, but we'll get more into that as we go. So first, we like to kick it off by talking about some of the traits. But before I get into that, what up, yo? What up, D-Rob? Glad to have you in the building. We got a couple of our family members won't be in today, at least 2 to 3 of them. They're traveling, they're on vacation, so it might be a light crew today. So I'm trying not to ask y'all too many questions. However, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the chat. So what are some of the traits or characteristics of that person that's in that steadiness style? Generally, this person is patient and consistent. The steadiness style brings empathy, patience, and stability, but can benefit from balance and self-care with support for others. You see, a person, that ultimate team player, they will sacrifice for everybody else on the team. Put a 1 in the chat if that person is you. You'll sacrifice for everybody on the team. You will put yourself last. I'm that kind of person, and I recognize that type of person as well. So a lot of times when I'm in spaces and I see that happening, I'll go tap the person on the shoulder, I'll dap them up, and I say, hey, bro, hey, sis. I said, man, why don't you go and take a break, man? Go get you a cup of coffee and just relax for a few minutes. Ooh, got a lot of ones on that one. And the thing is, I already knew that chick, her S is really high. And how I knew it is because how faithful she is with this show. There's been days when she's been sick. I mean, like COVID, flu sick. And she'll still get up and be in the chat active, getting ready for work in the chat active. That is one of what you would call one of the ultimate team players. And so I try to give you her flowers, but this is why I know who she is. This is how I know who most people are. D-Rob probably got a lot of S too. I don't think it's as dominant. However, he's a strong S as well. What's that saying? Birds of a feather? Game recognized game granddad. And that's predominantly the reason why. It's natural for us to be there for other people. It's natural for us to move in that kind of space. A lot of my homies would be like, bruh, how you get up every day? Dude, I said, I'm walking campus right now, tuned in. That's it, what I'm talking about. Walking. You just getting this morning exercise in, still tuned in. Shout out to D Rob and that chick, yo, my compadres. Also, character trait is supportive and cooperative. If you are a S or you know people that are in that status and state, you already know that they're supportive. They're going to support whatever you do. They're going to try to get along. Sometimes get along to go along. You know, sometimes it may not be right. It may not be exactly, but they're going to, you know, reshape themselves to fit whatever the situation is. Excuse me, because they prioritize helping others and maintaining stable relationships, which is what makes them dependable team players. And if you got a team, the one thing you want to have is dependability. I'm sure D-Rob understands this probably more than most being a coach. I would take a dependable player that's going to going to do his job, play in and play out, versus the player that's super talented but only plays once every 5 plays. Once every 5 plays, they showing up. Give me the dependable person. Oh man, D-Rob said last game of the season is Friday. So I feel like I can write a book about my 3-month experience moving here. Bruh, you probably should. At least sit down in front of a camera and document it. Talk about it. Make it a capture the moment while it's still fresh in your mind. Capture the moment while it's fresh in your mind. Or at least pull out a audio recorder in your phone and just record it. And then let AI transcribe it. I mean, it's too simple now, but you really should do that. Another character trait or characteristic of the S personality, the steadiness style, is reserved but very approachable. As a steadiness style, you may not be highly assertive. You may not like want to insert yourself in every situation, every conversation, every argument, but people find it easy to connect with them because they listen very well. Because they listen very well. People in the S category listen very well. And they're empathetic. Mostly they're non-judgmental. And they're self-sacrificing. So this is why I think it makes them the ultimate team player. This is the one that I think is the glue. It's like if you're making a cake and you don't put the egg in it, your cake is not going to be a cake. It's going to fall apart. If you make a cake and you don't put oil in it, it's not going to be as moist. It's going to be a little tough. So all the ingredients matter, but there's always one ingredient that holds it together a little bit better. And just from what I've seen, the S is the one, it's the glue. It's the egg to the batter. It's the one that holds it all together. Because they're dependable, they're steadfast. You can always count on them. D-Rob says, it's crazy, y'all. Done seen a lot, felt a lot. Bruh, it's part of the process. You're discovering who you are. You're discovering your greatness. I love it. Proud of you, bruh. Proud of what you done overcame, the risks you took, the the discomfort that you've gone through, the uncomfortable moments, the moments of wanting to quit but not quitting, and you done saw it through. You made it through your first season, bruh. And that's something to be proud of. Shout out to my guy D-Rob, making training dreams into realities. All right, so I want to put on the screen real quick. we're gonna go through strengths and weaknesses of this high S. So some of the strengths in this personality style: consistency and reliability. Their patience and dedication makes them trustworthy and dependable in both personal and professional relationships. This is why I said this personality style is the glue. If you want to have a successful company, if you want to have successful relationships, it's imperative that you understand who you're in relationship with. If you have an accountant or a bookkeeper, you probably want your bookkeeper to be strong in this S category. If you are a S, you probably don't want your spouse to be an S. I know that's a little controversial because I just said they're the glue. But if you got two people in a relationship and they're both the glue, it can get a little stale. It can get a little stagnant because you both are very good at the same thing, which means you're going to be strong in really one area, but it's not going to be as complete, which is why most people attract their opposite. Most people attract their opposite for that reason. Also, supportive nature. They are excellent team players, often putting the needs of others before their own to maintain harmony. You know, soldiers will get the Purple Heart. They will get, distinguished medals for their heroism, for their bravery, for their courage. There's been guys who have literally thrown their bodies on grenades to save the lives of their team members. In the Captain America movie, I hope you guys are Marvel's fans. You've seen some of these movies. This movie in particular that I'm about to talk about. In the first Captain America movie, Captain America was this little scrawny, short. I mean, he was probably 5'3", 120 pounds. And World War I is happening. I think it's World War I. Yeah, World War I is happening. And he wants to go and enlist, but he's too small. Nobody's not taking him serious. But he's fiercely loyal, and he wants to be a part. So he volunteers for the Super Soldier program. He didn't know what it was at the time, but he went in. He was given the serum, and he shoots from that 5'3" to like 6'5". 220, 230, nothing but muscle. So even though his body changed, his personality didn't. He was still fiercely loyal. He was still jump on a grenade to save his teammates because he was that supportive person. He wanted to see the team win. He would sacrifice his own safety for that of others. And so the final strength, or at least one more strength, is empathy and listening skills. The ability to empathize and listen closely makes them approachable, valued by friends and colleagues. We all want somebody who understands us, who sees us, who listens to us. And now I don't mean listen to respond. They're listening to understand. This is what some of your best friends, the trait some of your best friends probably have. You probably are people's best friend because you have that trait. And I know sometimes I've run into some people with this personality style and they felt like they were the doormat because everybody comes and dumps on them. Everybody comes and puts their problems on them, want them to solve their problems. And then once their problems are solved, they run on off and they go live it up with they high eye peoples or they high eye friends. Happens more than you think. But if you an S, you already know that. You already know that. People call you when they in trouble. But when times are good, man, they off doing whatever they do. Shout out to those people for being real with that chick. Yo said 100. 100. But what I do find ironic though is I heard Marlon Wayans. I think it was a Breakfast Club interview, and he was talking about he had made peace with who he was. And so he says that, and I've actually said something very similar, but something to the effect of, I don't want to be the friend you call when the party is happening. He said, because it's just not me. I don't want to go to the parties. So let me save all of us this frustration right now. I'm not that friend. I'm the friend you call when the bottom is falling out. I'm the friend that you call when you need some answers, you need some solutions. But I only offer that to the people I truly call friend. That's not for everybody. I think that was Club Shay Shay podcast. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was. I just saw a clip of it. And he said it. I'm like, yo, because that's how I feel. But not to the point where I just want to be the guys at the crib and just there to answer your problems or your situations. It's like, nah, it's my homies. We kick it hard. We've been riding with and for each other since day one. I know they got me. They know I got them. But if you got something going on, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll come hang out. But my personality is set up to where I'm always busy. I'm doing something. And my friends used to feel bad. Hey, bro, we got this going on, man. And we know you got this going to be. Bro, it's all good. Do your thing. I got 20 other things going on. Everything, but you good, though. Yeah, man. I'm good. All right, cool. Well, look, hit me up next week. Maybe we can do lunch or something. Oh, okay, I'm going to check it out. He highly recommends it. He was definitely speaking. He was spitting game on that podcast. I'm gonna go check that one out. Because I used to not really like Marlon Wayans much as an actor. Just because he was just so extra. Because he was... I've never really been a huge fan of like Dumb and Dumber and the scary movies and, the spoof movies. I never was a huge fan. I watch them time to time, but I wasn't just searching for them. But as I've gotten older, I appreciate Marlon Wayans so much more for just his body of work, what he's done in the industry, how he carved his own lane, he found his own voice, and he's making it happen not just for him but also for his children, for his family. Keenan started it. And Marlon is also carrying it now. Because you don't hear about Damon as much. You don't hear about Keenan as much. You don't hear about the sisters as much anymore. Marlon is the family flag bearer right now. Which tells me he's probably a strong S and a strong I too. Just because of the path that he's taken. But yeah, so that's some of the strengths and of that ultimate team player, that high S. But we can't talk about the strengths without talking about the weaknesses. So here are some of the weaknesses. And for this one, it's actually 4 weaknesses. And some of you will definitely be able to understand it. There was a time in my life when I would never avoid conflict. I was looking for it. You want smoke, I want smoke too. I was looking for the smoke. But that was when I was operating in my dominance than in my steadiness. As I've gotten older, I have shifted from that dominant personality style to more of my natural style, which is the steadiness. And so avoiding conflict, as they often prioritize harmony over addressing issues, which can lead to unresolved conflicts. I don't really want no smoke anymore. I don't really want no problems anymore. So if we're going to have an argument about nothing, you know what? I'm going to go over here. Now, if we're going to talk about something that matters, that's going to get us somewhere, I'm all for the conversation. But if we're going to have a conversation that's going to be pointless and it's going to end in an argument and both of us just feeling away, I'd rather avoid it. It's not productive. It's not healthy. It's not helpful. I used to tell my daughters when they were teenagers and they were just arguing and fighting just for no reason because somebody said something. I'm like, you can't have logical conversations with emotional people. It just doesn't work. Matter of fact, let me drop a bomb. Let me drop a bomb on that one. Excuse me, I'm gonna say that again. You can't have logical, productive conversations with emotional people. Doesn't work. We talked about the amygdala and how the amygdala chokes the brain's thought pattern out because of the emotion and the energy. The stress levels go up and there's an inability to think clearly. How can you have a productive conversation with somebody who can't think clearly in this particular moment? What up, shawty? Hey, speaking of my daughter, there she go. There she go. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. It doesn't make sense. You're going to end up frustrated and you're going to walk away. Now, my daughter, she's a strong S. Strong S. And I always got to tell her, babe, you're doing a little too much, boo. Hey, let somebody else do it. Let somebody else do it. Don't put all that on your back, girl. And she's learning. I'm proud of her because she's learning. I'm watching the growth patterns. And I'll be honest with y'all. It is hard as a parent when you watch your children, you see them grow, and you see their character, you see their morals, you see their how they think, and you're proud of them, but you also see the blind spots. And dads operate differently than moms. A mom will try to compensate for the blind spots, for the weak points. Dads won't do that as much because dads know that if I intercede or if I intervene in that growth process, then I'm going to delay the growth. You're going to delay the growth. She said, I'm learning. And it's tough because especially if you co-parent well, then you're going to have that conversation. Well, I need you to do this more, or why aren't you doing this? And you can't explain it properly. Do you want your child to struggle? No, of course I don't want my child to struggle. Well, then help her, help him. Just like, but if I help him, I'm going to stunt the growth. They need to grow. Bump that. They need help now. I've been in it so many times, man. Y'all know I got 5 babies. So I've had that conversation so many times. So, which is why it's important to have both parents in the child's life. Because the more balanced the relationship, the more balance the child has, the faster the maturity levels are. And that's a whole nother show. But yeah, avoiding conflict. 2, resisting change. Their preference for stability may make them uncomfortable with sudden changes or high-risk situations. Now, if you are a strong, dominant S, this holds true more so than if you just are higher in your S. Like I'm a high S and I'm a high I. So as a high I, I'm not risk averse at all. I don't mind a little risk. I don't mind failing. I don't mind making a mistake. However, if I know something to be true, yeah, that I'm going to resist that change. I'm going to resist it with a fierceness until you can prove to me that what you're saying is accurate. I'm open-minded. I will listen to you and I will say, Nah, I'm still not seeing it. I'm still not getting it. You gotta come a little bit more correct with that one. It's not making sense to me. But a person in that high S category will resist change at different degrees, but it's still resisting change. Also, difficulty saying no. No, I'm gonna say this for all the people that understand. No is a love word. No is a self-love word. The problem with being that steadfastness, people come to you, you recognize your value when you in this position. You recognize that people recognize your value, and it feels good. And so we let people throw things on us. We accept things that we probably shouldn't do. We're volunteering for another thing, and we're carrying the load. We're carrying a load that other people around us could help with, but because they didn't raise their hand, and we wanted to, be good team players, we raised our hand and we accepted that extra stuff as well. Sometimes it's considered people pleasing. Sometimes it could be called doing too much. And I'm the king of doing too much. So I know where my babies get it from. And my oldest daughter, both me and her mom, we both do too much. I can't think of a time when we've not had at least 2 jobs. Most times it's 3 different things we do to make money. And so I'm not too hard on my baby because she get it honest. Oh, she get it honest. But because I'm learning, I'm able to say, hey, babe, you might want to slow it down over here. You might want to let somebody else do something. Yeah, that chick said, I really had to learn that. The burnout is real. Look, I was so burnt out this year, just mentally and physically, that when I finally let the job go that was taking the majority of my time, so working her second job right now. Y'all hear that? She working her second job right now at 7:30 in the morning. My baby. Girl, you the real MVP. You are the real MVP. When I grow up, I don't want to be like you though. Whew. Okay, all right, that threw me off right now. It's 7:30 in the morning. This child working her. I'm about to go into daddy mode. Hold on. All right, okay. I'm gonna say no to that thought. All right. So yeah, the burnout can be real. The crazy thing is we can do it for long periods of time. It gives us purpose. It makes us feel good. It helps us get things done faster. I'm not saying it's a negative. Most times it's very positive. But that last point there, balance and support with self-care, that's the part that gets us in trouble. Because we're so busy being a team player. We're so busy carrying the load, checking the boxes off, that we forget to take care of ourselves. I'm in a training class currently for a new program that I'm getting ready to start implementing. And one of the exercises is, it's 2 cups. And 1 cup is you. And y'all might have seen it already. Auntie Canada, what up? And you would ask the participant to take the liquid in this 1 cup and pour it into this other cup. Matter of fact, let me pull it off screen real quick. So you got 2 cups. You would ask, do I got another cup in here? I'll use this lens as an example. This is a little lens here. This is a cup. And you would take Make sure I do it the right way. I'll mess up my lens. Hold on. Close you. All right. So you would take, this is the cup with the liquid in it. This is an empty cup. This cup symbolizes me, my body, my energy. The liquid in it is the energy. And every day that I go into something, to work, traffic, whatever, I'm pouring liquid into the empty cup. By the time I get to the day, this cup is pretty much empty. It's empty. I don't have anything left. No more energy to give to my wife, to my children, to myself. So I have to find ways to re-energize myself, to refill my cup. And this is what the whole self-care piece is about. This is why it's important. So whether it's meditation, whether it's walking, whether it's podcasts or shows like this, or working, going to the gym, we have to find ways or things that refill our cup so that the burnout doesn't come. Because changing your nature is like changing the wind. It ain't really happening too easy. You can make adjustments here or there, but overall, your personality is your personality, and you will go from style to style depending upon the situation in many cases. Nobody is just one. We have all four styles in us. All four personalities live within our body, and we adapt to whatever we need to adapt to. But you have your default ones. And today we're talking about that steadiness, that steadfast one. So when you are dealing with people like that, let me give you a couple of pointers. Be patient and consistent. I heard that chick Yo say that once upon a time. You got to be consistent with me, Poppy. Okay, she didn't say that to me. I don't know where that came from. My wife is learning Spanish right now, so random Spanish words are just flying into my head right now. I know enough Spanish to be ignorant or very offensive, so I'm going to stop right now. So be patient and consistent when you're dealing with people with this in this category. Once you recognize their high S's, patient and consistent. Approach them calmly. Show reliability if you want to build trust. If you want to build trust. Oh, you have said it. Okay, good. I thought it was you. Wasn't sure. Avoid abrupt changes. Those really fast changes, give them time to adjust. Because remember, they're carrying the load. Don't just come in and drop 28 things on your wife if she's the steady one in the family. You know how much energy it takes? Okay, I channeled you. You know how much energy it takes you going one way, you going 100 miles an hour, and now all of a sudden, turn right here. GPS just start jacking you up. Nah, you gotta avoid those abrupt changes when you're dealing with somebody in the highest category. Also, and the final point is focus on relationship building. Focus on relationship building. Show genuine interest in their well-being. When people become endeared to me, it's because they show genuine interest in me. They see what I'm doing. They might not even can't even take some of the load off of me, but because they see me, and because they respect what I do, because they show concern, because they try to help, those persons are etched into my memory, into my heart as real ones. They see me, they get it. They're not trying to add, they're only trying to help. And when they come, their hand is not out. When they come, their hand is turned over because they want to put something in it. They want to give. If you're dealing with a person that's a high S, that's the energy you want to come with. Fellas, if you're trying to date a young lady and you recognize that she's a real one, do that. Do that. Be patient. Be consistent. She has to learn or do whatever she got to do. Respect that. Let her do it. Be patient. Consistently show up. Avoid the fast changes, the quick turns. Give her time to adjust to whatever this is. And focus on building a relationship. That's a dating recipe right there, y'all. That's a success dating recipe. P. So y'all know I like to show real life characters. I like to show people who exhibit that behavior. And so the first guy is very near and dear to my heart. Y'all know who this guy is, right? Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers. Oh man. He's probably one of my most favorite people in the world. He's passed on now. But his influence on my life, I can't even quantify how impactful Mr. Rogers' TV show was. The show went from 1968 to like 2003. Just imagine that. A show that went from 1968 to 2003. Which means I wasn't the only child that this man's show influenced, had an impact on. You don't stay on TV for 40 years. You don't stay on TV for 40 years and people aren't watching. It's hard to get shows to be on TV for a year now. He was on air for almost 40 years doing the same show. I think the same network for 40 years. He was a staple. Fred Rogers was his name. Now, there's a lot of stories, a lot of hype about Mr. Rogers, but when I say steadfastness, steadiness, his show was steady, and it became a staple in my life. I look forward every morning to watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Now, some people think it's corny. But, matter of fact, hold on. Let me pull that down for a second. I'm going to show you why it's not corny right now. Matter of fact, yep, here we go. Y'all listen to this.
You know, I'm proud of the things that you do and the ways you find for expressing who you are. I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you. I hope that you're as proud as I am proud of you. I'm proud of you. I hope that you are proud and that you're learning how important you are.
Hold on, I didn't mean to
how
stop.
important
Stop it. Go back.
each person you see can be. Discovering each one's specialty is the most important learning.
All right, so y'all get the point. Imagine when you were 6, 7 years old, or 4, and you don't feel really wanted. You don't feel loved. Everything you do is wrong. It's being criticized. You're insecure. Your self-confidence is low. And then you walking past the living room and you hear, "I'm proud of you." Then you go tune in a little, you listen a little more. What is this man talking about? And he's saying, "I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, and I hope that you are too." His message was so positive. They were captivating because they were simple. His audience was children. We should tell you how much children struggle. Because when you're born, you have no history of anything. You're learning everything all at once. Your brain is forming millions of neurons from 0 to 5. And so if you don't feel that love and that acceptance in that age range, you tend to have low self-esteem, low confidence, which is how some predators are able to come into a child's life and do them harm, because they come in and they big up in them. They tell them how great they are. Oh man, you're beautiful. You're a handsome young fellow. Oh, look at your muscles. And little kids be flexing like, yeah. Yeah. Make that face for me again. Yeah, you right? Y'all have seen it. But this man used his platform to inspire children for decades. And so although some people might call him corny, I think this man he's a hero. He single-handedly changed my life and made me look at myself. And that was just a sample. Think about it, 5 days a week. I remember before I was even in school, my great-grandmother was keeping me. And every morning she would let me watch this, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, and something else. And he had puppets and trains and all that other good stuff. He's a steady person. He was a steady personality style. And the impact that we all make that our S's, you can't quantify it because we are the glue. We are silently the dependable ones that are getting stuff done. So be proud of yourself if you are that. If you know somebody, your partner is that, send them a text saying, hey, I love how dependable you are. Thank you for being in my life. Big up that person. And I said I wasn't going to be biased, but dependability matters. We don't buy a car that's going to sometimes work. We don't eat food that it might not make us sick today. We want dependable things. And there's nothing more than dependable people. So shout out to my dependable folks out there.
Proud of you.
Okay. I'm proud of you too, Mr. Rogers. So let me go back to my show now. There's also another person that you know of very well. Y'all know who that is, Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was a Catholic nun, and she took care of the sick. She took care of the poor. I mean, she made it her life's mission to the point where she won a Nobel Peace Prize for it. You know how much empathy that takes to be around people that are hungry and sick all the time, and you dedicate your life to it? You know how dedicated you have to be that kind of person? She created stability for so many people that were in need. If you're in high S, that's what you do. You create that stability. You are the egg that keeps the cake from falling. You hold all the other ingredients together. This guy, Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, he was, matter of fact, he was the person who inspired Dr. King's nonviolent protest style during the civil rights era. He believed in non-violent resistance. He was anti-colonial. He was against the colonists, basically. He did marches. He did starvation protests. Hunger strikes. He did long marches. He inspired people because he was dedicated. He was dependable. Now, Gandhi and Dr. King, the crazy thing is they believed in nonviolence, but they both were killed. Weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. However, the mission, the movement, it outlasted them. They became martyrs for the cause. And the one thing you can't fight is an idea, an ideal, a value, a movement. You can get rid of the movement leader, but you can't get rid of the movement, at least not easily. Once it's been established, I should say. Now, if you can get it before it gets established, you got a good shot at getting rid of it. But if it gets established, or you co-opt it, that's another thing. I'm not going to get that blueprint today. But the work that you do, it matters, my S people. The lives that you impact, it matters. And they're going to always, I remember Mr. Rogers, like, I was still 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8 watching him. If Mr. Rogers came on right now, I'd stop and watch it. Now, it may not hit me the same way, but it'd be more of a nostalgia, kind of a nostalgic feeling. But I remember my first teachers that really saw me. I remember my drill sergeants that saw me. I remember friends that I no longer, that is gone on, but they saw me. People that I haven't seen in years, I remember very close moments with, because they impacted my life in a very positive way. And that's what those S people do. That's what they do. So what type of jobs do these people tend to have? And I wasn't going to do this part, but sometimes we're in our journey and we get lost sometimes, and we're not sure what we should do, because we've been used and abused so many times, because we've attracted users because we're givers. You remember I said earlier, sometimes we attract our opposite? Because you are a giver, because you are a light, we will attract people who will come to get warmed by our fire, burn our logs down, and then they leave. It's not funny, but it is funny. They come to drain us, and then they out. So, people like this are normally, they are your healthcare workers, because they're steady. They'll work through COVID. They're in logistics. They'll deliver your stuff on time, on target. They'll make sure you have what you need. They're working human resources, because they're team players. They're working customer service, because they generally care. They'll be coaches. Maybe not the head coach, but a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, assistant coach. They're going to do the brunt of the work. They don't even always require a lot of attention for what they've done. They don't always want the credit. They just are happy doing the work. They don't have to be in the limelight. They just happy to throw their hand up to be recognized every now and then. That chick yesterday, I was in management, now in trucking. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. It's just it's a natural fit. It's a natural fit. And that's why I struggle, because I am a high S, but I'm also a high I. So I can be behind the camera. I can be making sure that what's happening back there is right. I can make sure the lights are set up, the mics are good. Then I can turn around and put a suit on and go stand in front of the camera, hit the record button and talk like I'm doing right now. I have no problem being either or. I can be both, which makes it hard because now I try to do everything. I try to do everything. And as y'all have so aptly said, bro, you need a producer. Me and my wife was on a call about a week or so ago, and she came and she sat at my computer. It was a Zoom call, and we were talking, and I'm moving because I got it's like really literally I have 3 monitors, and I have I can see myself 3 times, actually 4 times. And so she sat down, and it didn't dawn on me to tell her, okay, look right here, do this, do that. I just assumed that she was working like me. So meanwhile, I'm making it easier for her to see, but I'm messing it up because she's looking at the wrong window. Then she's not sure what window to look at. But I'm literally reading comments, looking at cameras, trying to stay in focus while I'm doing it, because I realized I went out of focus a couple of times, monitoring my audio, adding another whole device, and monitoring to my internet speed. I'm doing too much back here. This is what a show producer would do. But I am a show producer, and I'm the talent. So knowing your personality style is essential. So let's real quick before we get out of here. If you're high S, how can you leverage this personality style? Or how can you help somebody to do it? First, encourage them to practice voicing their needs better. Encourage them to set boundaries. I have some very hard boundaries. And sometimes my boundaries are so hard that they will hurt me. It's certain things I'm not going to let people do, because I know who I am. And I know if you cross this boundary, it's going to be ugly for both of us. So I have to place a firm line in the sand that says, you can go up to this point, you can tiptoe up and down it, but the moment you cross it, something got to happen. That's something I had to do for myself, because I would cause myself self-destruction if I let people cross certain boundaries in my life. So I had to start creating those things. When I took the job as when I first started doing the parenting stuff, I already knew what my schedule was. So in the interview, I said, look, I'm not here because I need this job. I'm here because I want to do the work. I have a company outside of this, but I miss doing this kind of work. So if selected, if you guys choose me, I have to make my own schedule. Would that be a problem? Setting boundaries. I don't need this job. I want to do the work though. What does that say? He coming to do a good job. We just need to get out of his way and let him do it. And they did, and I did. Still there, still doing it. Still doing it. Because I set the boundary. Help them embrace change gradually. Help them with new situations, gradually move them into those new situations at a pace that they don't feel overwhelmed. Because remember, they're doing 1,000 other things. They got all these intricate things happening in their mind to keep the ship running. Don't throw a whole new thing in there that makes them got to undo all the other stuff. And of course, balance and support with self-care. It's cool to support, but you have to take care of yourself as well. You have to put your mask on first. You got to put your mask on first. Because if you don't, you're going to burn out. And when your light is gone, when your fires burn out, you're going to find it hard to rekindle. And you're going to spend your days tired and sleepy for no reason, no energy, in a bad mood, and confused or feeling stuck. It's not that you're stuck, you just burn out. You gave too much. And you didn't have people around you that refilled your cup because you poured all your energy out. So you have to make sure you are refilling your cup. Whatever those things are that you need to do, you need to make sure you're doing them. For me, it's laughing with friends, going fishing. That refills my cup. That kind of resets my meter. And if I can't go fishing, I got to talk to some friends. I got to go hang out with the fellas. Hey, fellas, we need to go do lunch. And after that lunch meeting, my cup is full again. Because I done laughed, my stomach is hurting. So what is it for you? You need to find it. And you need to do it frequently. Well, it's hump day, y'all. Middle of the week. As they say, we're starting to go downhill if you have your weekends off. So I implore you, don't wind down. Finish strong. Finish stronger than you started. Be intentional about how you spend your energy. Be intentional about the relationships that you are creating. Be intentional about your health, about your well-being. Because tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. All we have is today. So live the best day that you possibly can. Don't have a bad day. It's okay to have bad moments, a bad hour. But you are the person in charge of setting your temperature. You are in charge of understanding no one can mess up my day. I refuse to let it happen. So yes, this person may have had an attitude. This person may just be stupid. I don't know. But that's their problem. It's not mine. So I'm not gonna pour energy out of my cup into that situation. I'm gonna text my homeboy real quick and refill my cup a little bit more because this person just stole a little bit of my juice. Not gonna happen. I refuse to get home empty and don't have nothing to give to my family. No longer will I let the things that don't matter affect the things that do matter. But anyway, you guys have a great day. Be blessed. Take care of yourselves. And remember, I love you. I love you, mommy. I love you, papi. I'm back there again. Anyway. All right, man. I got stuff to do. Y'all got stuff to do. Y'all make it a great day. And man, dang, I hate to see you next week, but I might try to come back on Friday to finish up this session. But we might have to go to Monday. We'll see. But all right, either way, I'll let you guys know. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk soon. Peace.